Good afternoon, everybody. It is meteorologist Ains Weather Forecast here, and welcome back to the update. As you can tell, this will be my third preliminary fall forecast, and I just realized right now that on my second preliminary fall forecast, I put third. So this is actually my third. For those people wondering, doesn't it say third two times? So I accidentally put third instead of second. So this is my real third fall forecast, guys, and I apologize. I just realized right now. So, guys, basically, what we're going to be looking at here, we're going to be looking at all the ENSO outlooks here for you guys to have an idea what's happening right now in the Pacific and also why I made that forecast. So, that's probably showing the ENSO outlook here. And then I'll have my three maps at the end of the video, which I made today earlier. If you guys want to know about Invest 98L and Tropical Depression 5, go ahead and check out my video I did a couple hours ago. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. I do daily weather forecasts, and we're trying to get to 2,000 by the end of September. And then once I get to 2,000, I'll do a shout out video. So if you guys want to know what to expect this fall, then I'll come right up. So we will be looking at the summary for ENSO first here. Again, this will be it's just like a slideshow here. And as you can tell, we do have an ENSO neutral conditions are present right now. So we do have a neutral. For those people who saw my winter videos, they know exactly when it became a neutral. So we have equatorial sea surface temperatures are above average across the western and central Pacific Ocean and are below average in the eastern Pacific. I actually believe we also have slightly below average temperatures in the Central Pacific too, but it's not super duper widespread like the warmth. But don't worry, we'll be looking at the water analysis very soon in the video. So we have ENSO neutral is most likely to continue through Northern Hemisphere winter 2019-2020 with a 50 to 55% chance for it to continue. So there's a very, very high chance of us having an ENSO for the fall, but there's a 50 to 55% chance for the winter. So we're not gonna base our forecast on a El Nino or La Nina. We're gonna base it on a neutral, which is in between La Nina and El Nino. So it's La Nada basically, which is nothing. So now we are going to be looking at the probability of these events occurring. But first, it says ENSO neutral is most likely to continue through the northern hemisphere winter 2019-2020. So that's just basically a summary of the one we just read right now. They're saying it's favored for the northern hemisphere for the winter. Again, it's very, very likely for the fall, so that's why they're not putting in the fall. Because it earlier said fall and winter, but now it's only showing winter because actually a very high chance for it to be in the fall right now since it's about it's exactly almost a month. So basically, with the probability here has we have in the blue we have La Nina probability, in the gray we have a neutral, and in the red we actually have a El Nino. So basically, what's happening here is that we have the models right here and the probability of what they think can happen. So we have a 100% chance, 50% chance, and a 10% chance, and then the other numbers here. So basically, the lowest number is always the blue, which is the La Nina, and I'm about to discuss exactly what this means. So basically, we only have about a 15% chance at the highest, which is like the JFM and the DJF. Those are all showing 15% chance, which is the highest, which is actually pretty low. So basically, La Nina is not really favored to really occur this winter. For those people saying there's a chance, it's actually very low. And now the second highest probability event is El Nino, and that actually only goes to a 30% chance, really. We actually have a lot of models showing 30% chance, so that's basically the average we're seeing in the highest. So El Nino probabilities have gone down a whole lot ever since this new update. So El Nino, it's very low for it to come back. Again, there's a chance, but it's very unlikely for it to come back. And again, in the gray we have the neutral, and all the models actually show more than 50% chance for a neutral, which is actually pretty high. So they're very confident for this to occur here. We have about the highest is actually 65. We're actually about 68, which is pretty high. All right, now we'll be looking at the model outlooks here. So we have the models right here, and then we have some numbers right here. And you guys probably think, what does this mean? Well, anything above a 0.5 right here is actually El Nino, and then anything below the negative 0.5 right here is actually a La Nina. So if you guys are wondering what's in between these, this is actually anything in between these two black lines is a neutral. So this is easier. So this would be a negative 0.9. This would be a positive 0.9. So again, we are seeing a lot of models showing a neutral, which is in between a positive 0.5 Celsius, which is right here, and in between a negative 0.5 Celsius. So again, we have the gap, and anything in between that gap is a neutral. And you can see we have a lot of models favoring a neutral. Let's go with maybe about a 75% chance, or 75% of these models here do show a forecast a neutral, and then the other 25% here, which that was really good. 25% is a El Nino. So again, basically all you guys really need to know is that we're favoring really neutral. Sorry. So now we're going to be looking at the water analysis here. So again, we have this cold water here into the eastern Pacific and somewhat in the central Pacific, and then we have these warmer waters right here into the western and central Pacific. We actually have a very warm area right here next to Hawaii. We have that very extreme warm waters, and then we are seeing slightly above average temperatures waters into the southern Pacific there, and then we are seeing some warm waters coming out into the western Pacific. But the only reason why we really have a neutral is because of this one little area right here is the only reason why we have a neutral. I have explained this in my other videos when I showed this, because if it weren't for this, if this circle right here instead of being blue, if it was orange, and this was still here, we would actually have a very weak El Nino, because you see we have the cold waters in the off the coast of South America, and we have the warmer waters here. So if all of this in this circle was orange, it would actually be a El Nino. So that's just a cool fact there. But again, we have this big area of cold water into the off the coast of South America, into the central, and if it starts to continue to move, we could have some more widespread colder waters, and we might have chances to increase for La Nina, but it's very unlikely. And then again, we're having some areas that are going to be somewhat average. We have a lot of areas that are going to be average, so it's just a really iffy condition. What we're seeing here. Now we're going to be looking at my forecast here. So this is my precipitation. Again, guys, this is actually not going to be 100% correct, since fall again still has a couple months. I know it's a month till fall begins, but again, with the 3 to 4 months in fall, it's going to change a lot, because until the end of fall, it's like 4 or 5 months, which is a long time. So basically, this is going to change a lot more until my final fall forecast. So we're actually going to be seeing a good amount of above average precipitation. Again, guys, this could change. In this area, we can see above average. If you're in this first layer, if you guys look in the first layer of green, that's where we have slightly below average temperatures. And then you see the second shade of green, that's where we have when you see that slight orange, that's where we have slightly above average. And then the second green, that's where we have above average precipitation. So I think we have above average precipitation for much of the Midwest there, for Wisconsin, Minnesota, into the Dakotas, Nebraska, into actually parts of Louisiana. I think we can have some more rain showers. And again, with these tropical storms these tropical systems coming in, I think we'd have a lot more above average precipitation here in the South Central, with some possibly more systems coming in. And then I think we have two areas that can see above average precipitation. I know it's like kind of really random when there's two here, but that's where I think we can have a lot more, especially right here this fall. I think we should have a lot more thunderstorms and severe weather coming in, especially for September and October, which will bring above average precipitation, and a lot of it. And then also I think we should have some more rain out here next to the Appalachian Mountains, because again, it's really following this. So whenever this rain comes, it comes into the east. And also I think we're going to have possibly some more systems that come up the Atlantic, and that can bring a lot more rain here, for those people wondering why there's those two little areas. And then I think we should have an area that can have below average precipitation for the Southwest and parts of California. And again, guys, it's not going to be like this every single day for the season of fall. This is just in general what we can see in these 4 months period. Now we're going to be looking at my temperature, and it actually has changed it quite a bit. I really don't think we're going to have the third shade of blue, really. I don't think it's going to that extremely cold based on average. Yes, it's going to be very cold, but again, I don't think it's going to be that much colder than average. Of course, when it comes to late fall, December, that's where we're going to be seeing cold, but I can't put a dark blue when it's only 1 month out of the 4 months, and this is going to be an average again. So if you're in the light blue right here, that's where you'll be slightly below average temperatures. So that's going to be all the way from Maine up the East Coast, Mid-Atlantic, parts of northern, southeast here, Mississippi, the little northern tip of Louisiana, actually northern Texas, all the way into Montana. For the people wondering, are we going to have cold temperatures here into the mountains of the west? Yes, but again, it won't be that much colder on average. Again, guys. So again, we're still gonna have cold conditions here into the mountains. Of course, they're the mountain in the higher elevations. And then in the second shade, we do have below average temperature. So this color, we have below average, and that's gonna be for parts of Dakotas and all the way into Kentucky through the into near the lake. So I think we should have a lot more lake effect snow for sure, and also some more colder blasts for sure. I think we're gonna have a lot more colder blasts to come into this area of the United States right here. We've seen a couple in August that brought some colder conditions for the Ohio Valley. And then I think we'll be seeing slightly above average temperatures here for the southwest. Again, here we have the below average area, and here we have above average. But it's only be for a little slight area for south central California into the southwest. So it's not going to be very widespread. And I don't think you're really going to feel it a whole lot. It's going to be maybe 1 to 3 degrees above average. Now to be looking at my general forecast, so this is what you guys have been waiting for. So in the white, I think we can actually see some snowy conditions. Yes, a snowy fall for some areas. I think from the New England area through maybe parts of the Midwest, the Mid-Atlantic, all the way into the areas of this Ohio Valley. I think we can actually see maybe 1 or 2 snowstorms that can produce a good amount of snow during the fall months. In the light blue, I think we should have chilly conditions. So again, it's not going to be super duper cold, but it's just going to be chilly. That's going to be all the way from Virginia into the Appalachian Mountains, parts of Louisiana, Arkansas, all the way into Denver. In dark blue, we'll have many cold blasts for sure. Like I was talking about, many more cold blasts and Arctic blasts in the dark blue. So from all the way from Pittsburgh all the way to parts of Cheyenne, Wyoming. And then I think in the this green area, we can have this ugly type of green. We'll have very wet conditions, especially because here we have this tropical concerns. In the purple, or in the pink, sorry, we have tropical concerns. So all the way from the coastal areas of Virginia to Texas and Florida, we'll be having tropical concerns. So they'll bring a lot more rain to the inland areas, especially for Texas here in Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, and southern Kansas. In this yellow, we'll have a flip-flop, which is kind of where we see somewhat around average conditions, and then sometimes below, sometimes above average temperatures. So it's going to just be flipping back and forth here. I like to call it a flip-flop. And then in the orange, we'll have warm conditions, again, for the areas of the southwest. And then this light green, we'll have chilly rain. And you guys are like, chilly rain, what exactly does it mean? Well, it all depends right here, because in this other white area here, we have mountain snow for the west. So sometimes when it's slightly above freezing, we'll have that chilly rain for the areas for Oregon, parts of northern Idaho, Washington, then for parts of the Sierra Mountains in the Bay Area into Reno and Carson City, Nevada. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please do not forget to like and subscribe, guys, and bye.